All right, today we're going to talk about something that's on a lot of our minds, or our family's minds, and that's memory loss. But instead of fear, we're going to focus on empowerment, using some really great insights from DailyCaring.com.
You know that feeling, right? You walk into a room, you stop, and you think, wait, what did I come in here for? We've all been there. But that little moment is where a much bigger question starts. Is this just a normal little brain glitch, or is it something more? And that's the big question, isn't it? That's exactly what we're going to untangle today, that fuzzy line between the kind of forgetfulness that's just part of getting older and the kind of changes that might mean it's time to take a closer look.
Well, that closer look often brings up a term that, yeah, it can sound a little intimidating: mild cognitive impairment, or MCI. But you know what? Getting a handle on what it means is the very first step to taking back control. So, what exactly is this middle ground? Okay, so here's the deal. MCI is in this very specific spot. It's more than your typical, oh, where did I put my glasses moment. There are real, noticeable changes happening with memory or thinking. But, and this is so important, it's not bad enough that it's seriously messing up your day-to-day life or your independence.
This chart really helps make it clear, doesn't it? With normal aging, sure, you get some minor, slow changes. No big deal. On the complete other end of the spectrum is dementia, where the decline is severe and really gets in the way of living independently. In MCI, it's sitting right there in the middle. The changes are real, they're noticeable, but you're still mostly independent. You just might need a hand with the more complicated stuff, like keeping track of bills or medications.
And look, if this is sounding familiar for you or someone you love, the big thing to remember is that you are absolutely not alone. We're talking about 10 to 15% of seniors. This isn't some rare thing, it's a shared experience for a lot of people.
So, of course, this leads to the elephant in the room. Does MCI mean you're gonna get dementia? Well, the risk is higher, for sure. The average senior has about a 1 to 2% risk each year. With MCI, that does jump to about 10 to 15%. Now, that's a number to be aware of, but hold on, because it is not the whole story.
And please, if you take away just one thing today, let it be this: an MCI diagnosis is not a one-way ticket to dementia. It just isn't. For some people, the symptoms stay stable for years. For others, they actually get better. And that's why understanding this is so empowering. It's not a sentence, it's a starting point. Okay, so let's get practical. What are the actual signs you should be on the lookout for, either in yourself or in someone you care about?
We're talking about things like forgetting important conversations you just had, or asking the same question over and over again. Or maybe you find you're losing the plot of a movie or a book. It can feel like you're just totally overwhelmed by making a simple decision or a plan. And, sometimes it's the people closest to us who notice these shifts before we do.
And it's not always just about memory and thinking. Sometimes MCI can show up as changes in mood, too. Things like depression, anxiety, maybe feeling more irritable, or just apathetic. That can all be part of the picture. So if any of this is ringing a bell, the next step is getting a clear answer. And the great thing about going to a doctor is that it's not just about diagnosing MCI. It's also about ruling out other things that could be causing the symptoms, things that are often totally treatable, like a vitamin B12 deficiency or a medication side effect. Now, a list like this can look a little intimidating, but it's really just a thorough checkup. A doctor's going to review your medical history, ask about your daily activities, do some simple thinking and memory tests, and perform a basic neurological exam. They'll also screen for depression and do some lab work just to get the full picture and make sure nothing else is going on.
Okay, so what if you get a diagnosis? This is where we shift gears. We move from asking, what is this, to what can we do about it? This is where the empowerment really kicks in, because there are absolutely things you can do. First, let's just be really clear about this. As of right now, there is no FDA-approved medication specifically for MCI. So we gotta get the idea of a magic pill out of our heads and focus on something that's way more powerful anyway: lifestyle. And here they are. These are your power moves. Eating a healthy diet, getting regular exercise, which is so good for your heart and your brain, managing blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes, keeping your brain active and challenged, staying social and connected with people. These aren't just nice-to-do suggestions, they're literally the most effective tools we have. And that proactive approach includes follow-up. The experts say it's a really good idea to check back in with your doctor every 6 months or so. It's just a simple way to track any changes and make sure your plan is working for you. I want to end with this because it just reframes everything perfectly. Getting an MCI diagnosis doesn't have to be a moment of dread. Instead, you can see it as a powerful call to action. It's a chance to step up, take control of your health, and focus on living a full and purposeful life. And that's our explainer on mild cognitive impairment, thanks to the fantastic information from DailyCaring.com. We hope this gave you some clarity and, most of all, a sense of empowerment. If you found this helpful, do us a favor and hit that like button and maybe subscribe to the Caregiver channel. Thanks so much for watching.